Success looks so easy from the outside, but all successful people have had to overcome enormous obstacles along the way, and in many cases, look failure right in the eye. Most successful people don't focus on the struggle, and rarely do they talk about it because, quite frankly, that's not what creates success. Join us here where we will chat with fierce female entrepreneurs and share the good, the bad, and the ugly of entrepreneurship, and talk about the obstacles we have faced and how you can overcome them to reach the success that you desire. I am your host, Cammie Lehman, and this is the She's Invincible podcast.
Hey everyone, we're so excited to introduce you today to a brand new podcast host. I am so excited. Oh my gosh, we're here today to talk to Shelly Niehaus. She is the brand new host of a brand new podcast. She just came through the She's Invincible podcast school, and it's been such an honor to work with her. And so it is just an honor to introduce you to her today. So Shelly, welcome here to the She's Invincible podcast. We are so excited to feature you today and talk about you and who you are, what you do in this journey to become a podcast host. You know, our slogan is from entrepreneur to podcast host in 30 days, and you are a perfect testimony to that. So I'm here to talk to you about that today. So first of all, let me say congratulations to you. Amazing.
Thank you so much. It has been quite the journey, but on the other side, I can't tell you how much it's transformed my business and just everything in the last 30 days.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's jump in. So let's tell our listeners a little bit about you, who you are, what you do. Tell us about your business.
Okay. I am a business coach. I specialize in marketing and business systems for small businesses and solopreneurs. I'm also a brand strategist. I have spent over a decade in the photography industry, and I've really learned through that process of not only how to market my own business, but how to make other entrepreneurs shine online and share their talents with the world. And that's when I decided to segue from just photography into really taking the marketing that I've just learned and loved. And I'm such a nerd. I like to nerd out about marketing and all the different things. And I just wanted to empower other businesses to see the growth and the impact and the income that marketing your business well can do. And that's what brought me through this journey. And I've owned my own businesses since 2004. So almost 19 years as an entrepreneur. And I have done everything wrong. And I've also taken a long time to learn how to do things right. So if I can take any time off someone else's journey, that's my mission in life.
Oh, I love that so much. So tell us about your brand new podcast. Tell us, what is the name of your podcast and what is it that inspired you to start the podcast and call it this name?
Thank you. My new podcast is called Educated, Empowered, Inspired. And the podcast really came about, was put on my heart last fall. Several different people had aligned in my world to tell me that I really should be focusing on, instead of generating continuous content and being on that content creation hamster wheel for my business, a well-aligned, intentional piece of content each week would really be a good strategy for my marketing and my business. And so I started out as an entrepreneur thinking of it as just a marketing tool. But then once I got in the process, I really realized that this podcast was more than just to help entrepreneurs. It's to help a lot of people that I feel could use this message in my life. We picked up and left the only life we ever knew about a year and a half ago and moved all the way across the country to start over. And we did it because the life we were living looked great on paper, but it wasn't sustainable for my family or for our marriage. And through that journey, I get emails and messages every day, people saying, I wish I was as brave as you, or I wish I had the courage to do that. And I've really seen how many people mentally are just stuck. They're stuck in that fear or that messy middle or that camping out. They just don't know how to move forward. So I decided to call my podcast Educated, Empowered, Inspired to help you get unstuck and off to building the life you've been dreaming of. And I really have a heart to educate people, bring education into their life as to what they need to learn to level up, to step into that next version of themselves. But I don't want them to just sit around and consume. We spend so much time as a culture just consuming, binging. So the next step in my podcast is to empower them. Each week, my guests leave them with a tactical and practical step that they can do that week to go out and make an impact in either their life or someone else's life, because I really feel that impact can lead to a ripple effect and build that momentum. So the empower is the tactical and practical step. And then, of course, we all need to be inspired, because this journey of being an entrepreneur is lonely. This journey of life can be hard. And so sharing the inspiring stories of my guests and how they did it, how they pivoted, they got unstuck, just to leave my guests inspired, leave my listeners inspired, is really my hope and my mission behind starting this podcast.
I love that. So give us an idea, just a sneak peek of some of the topics that we can look forward to hearing on your show.
We really focus about topics in life and business. And of course, in both of them, it always starts with mindset. So certain things may be overcoming fear, imposter syndrome. If you're really going to make a lasting impact in any area of your life, you have to start with some of your basic mindset needs, money mindset, and we have to start there. So we always have the mindset, but then we are going to go into entrepreneurship, because at the end of the day, my heart is to help businesses learn to market themselves and get more clients so they can build financial freedom and impact other people's lives. So we do a deep dive into all the different areas that people might be stuck with the overwhelm of trying to figure out how to run a business, whether it's they're wearing 17 different hats and they don't even know where to start because they're just so overwhelmed by the day-to-day task of running a business, or marketing and learning how to promote yourself and build a brand around yourself and your work is very intimidating. So we do a deep dive into all the different marketing topics about building a personal brand, learning how to put yourself on social media, learning how to maybe generate an email list to take your clients on that journey, just learning how to not only sell yourself, but show up with that service mentality that you're really there to help people out. And by not stepping into that, you're doing a disservice to someone else, because someone else needs what you have to bring to this world.
I love it. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Okay, so now for the last part, I would love to talk to you about your experience going through the She's Invincible podcast school. So tell us first, what did you enjoy most?
I enjoyed that it is a one and done program. You will not leave this school without your podcast out into the world, marketed well, all the things I know. And I'm very much in the camp of, you need to invest in people that can take years off your journey. And I could have probably figured this all out, but it would have taken me years and time. And just to come and have an expert hold my hand, get me past a lot of my fears, because anytime you're doing something new, again, you're putting yourself out there, you're having to do that work. There's just so much there. It was like drinking from a fire hose, but I loved it. I loved every day seeing the progress. And I remember halfway through the school, I sat back and thought, wow, I have done this amount. I thought of all the work I'd done in just the 14 days. And I almost didn't know the girl that I was when I started the podcast school, because there had just been so much transformation just in those first 14 days.
Oh my gosh, Shelly. Oh, I love to hear those stories of transformation. Those are my favorite. I'm so excited for you. You'll never go back, right?
No.
It's only forward from here. I love that. Okay, so tell us what you found to be the most challenging part for you.
I get in my own head a lot and I overthink. And so when you're doing so much work so quickly, sometimes I was just trying to figure out what's my next right thing. And when you look at the mountain that you have to climb, sometimes it wasn't hard. There were steps and you were the guide and you helped me through it. But I would try to think 10 steps ahead because I was overthinking it. And I had to just really learn to just sit back, stop overthinking it, trust the process, trust you as my guide, because I had invested in you in the program because of your success, and just breathe. Breathe and be, and stop trying to force everything and just allow things to unfold naturally. And that's mainly down to I remember sitting down with you the first day and I told you, I have no idea what I want to talk about. And just the evolution of the concept of the podcast and the name was the hardest for me because that's the most nebulous. And that first week was really hard, but you gave me all the right tools. And to this day, the podcast we ended up with was never anything I could have dreamed of producing coming into this program.
Isn't that amazing? Talk about evolution, right? But you know what's really neat is it wasn't really a new idea. The further we were digging and the more that was coming up, you had all of those words that was already values that you were working with and living by, right? The educated, empowered, inspired. That was your mission deep down in the core of who you are and what you do in the world to help your clients. And so to be able to just bring that forth. So it reminds me of the story of the Wizard of Oz. And at the end, right, everything she needed, she already had within her. And you're a perfect example of that, Shelly. You had it within you, but you just needed someone to be able to challenge you to come forth with that and to believe in you enough for you to step into it and take that on as your own. And I'm just so proud of you. It's been so fun to work with you. And I am so excited about your new podcast and just to celebrate and cheer you on every step of the way. And I cannot wait to listen to all of your episodes. So congratulations to you. Just so much fun, so much success. I know that you're going to take this to a whole new level. And I cannot wait to see the impact that you and your guests and your podcast have on this world.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. And if we can just impact one new person every day, I will feel that was the biggest one of all through this whole process.
I love it. So guys, listen up. Go to Shelly's podcast, Educated, Empowered, Inspired. It's on iTunes. Be sure to download the episodes and submit a rating and review for this amazing new podcast.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If you were inspired or learned something new, please subscribe to the podcast, give us a review, and share us with your friends. For more information about me and how I can support you, please stop on over to my website at CamiLehman.com and book a free call with me. I'd love to meet you and learn more about how I can support you.